What's up, y'all? Alvin here, and today I have 4 tips I guarantee are gonna make you better at fly fishing.
I tell the good jokes.
All right, let's get into it. First tip is practice your casting. Now, I know this seems pretty obvious, but I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody hop on the boat and tell me, oh, I haven't practiced since the last time we went fishing. Don't do that. Your trip will be so much better if you have at least a certain amount of proficiency with the cast. I mean, you don't have to make a 100-foot cast. You don't have to be able to land the fly inside of a teacup at 60 feet. You just need to be able to put it out there fairly quickly and fairly accurately at a decent distance. I made a whole video about how far do you need to cast. The reality is most of the casts are a lot shorter than you think they need to be. Accuracy is definitely more important than distance. But when you're out practicing, practice everything. Practice making the longest possible cast you can make. As you get better at making longer casts, the shorter casts will be even easier. Try to make accurate casts. Put you a target out there and try to hit that teacup. The more you practice, the better you are in practice, the easier it's going to be to make it happen when you're out on the water trying to catch a fish. So practice your cast. All right, number 2, practice those knots. Now, everybody wants to try the latest and greatest knots out there, and that's a good thing because I think some of the knots that people are coming up with are better, maybe faster to tie, stronger, whatever, but practice them at home. I mean, sit down in front of the TV, get a hook and try to tie some knots, get a couple of pieces of tippet, tie them together, get that nail knot tool out and try to tie a couple of nail knots. That's one of the ones you don't have to tie very often, but if you're out and say you break the end off of your fly line, your loop fails. I've talked a lot about loops on fly lines, but you do want to be able to replace that loop with the nail knot if you need to. And there's nothing more frustrating than being out somewhere, prime fishing conditions, and you're fumbling around trying to reattach a leader to your fly line, trying to quickly change flies, try to add tippet. So practice all that stuff when you're at home and you're not trying to catch a fish. All right, number 3. Now this one may be a little bit controversial, but it's true. Hire a guide. Now, there's definitely circumstances where you may not learn that much stuff from a guide, but that's probably your fault. The thing you need to do when you decide to hire a guide is communicate to the guide what you want to learn from the trip. Now, if you just want to go and have somebody put you on as many fish as possible, then that is completely legitimate. But you're probably missing out on an opportunity to learn something. And I treat all guided trips, I still go on trips with guides, and I treat those guided trips as opportunities to learn. So you go somewhere and you fish with somebody and they're an expert on that particular body of water. There's so much stuff that you can learn from them if that's somewhere that you're gonna fish in the future, or if it's similar to somewhere that you're gonna fish in the future. This may be something kind of like where you fish on your home waters. You might learn some trick that you had never thought about, and you can take that and do that at home and just up your game when it comes to fly fishing. Now, like I said, there are situations where you may go with a guide and not learn that much. There's one thing that I used to see a lot when I was guiding in Colorado for trout. Have a couple of beginners on the boat, set them up with a couple of strike indicator nymph rigs. They go out, teach them how to mend. They can lob the bobber out there, mend the line. They catch tons of fish. But at the end of the day, they're not any better at fly fishing than they were at the beginning of the day. So if you really want to up your game, hire a guide, kind of set the expectations with the guide that you want to learn as much as you possibly can and have an open mind when you get out there. Listen to what that guide has to say, and I guarantee you're going to be better at fly fishing at the end of the day than you were at the beginning of the day. All right, number 4. Now, I have talked about this in previous videos, and it is so important to have patience. Now, you might not think of patience as a skill, but it really is. It is something that you can work on when you're on the water, when you're not on the water, when you're thinking about being on the water. The more patience you have with yourself, with the environment, the river, the fish, and just patience in general is going to make you a better fly angler. If you're frustrated because things aren't happening fast enough, you're probably not going to be making the right decisions. If you're frustrated because you're not making that cast the way you want, it usually gets worse before it gets better. So have some patience. Don't rush to the next hole. Maybe you should change flies. Maybe you should just take a break and sit on the bank and think about your next move. There's been so many times I've been out on the water frustrated because I couldn't catch any fish, and I'm thinking, I'm just gonna get out of here, or I'm just gonna go to the next spot. And then I sat down, I kind of thought about what was going on, I kind of looked around, and something came to my mind, changed flies, changed my technique, maybe slightly changed where I was fishing, and all of a sudden I'm catching fish. If I would have just gotten frustrated and stomped off, I would have never caught those fish. So patience with yourself, patience with the fish, patience with your fishing partners will go a long way towards making you better at fly fishing. All right, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Maybe subscribe to the channel. All that YouTube stuff. That really does help me out. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. And in the meantime, good luck on the water.